This is Bofades, and he is stuck in ZF until he earns 1 million gold from this dungeon and this dungeon alone. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the series where we are stuck in ZF until we earn 1 million gold. Today's episode is going to cover runs 191 through 200. 200 runs in this place, crazy, right? Before we get started, let's take a look at what we sold overnight. All right, looks like we made almost 2,800 gold overnight. Nothing flashy here. The only things that aren't trade goods are these two patterns. We're not seeing a ton of transmog sales on this realm because I am keeping them at market value here. And up until last night, I've been keeping all the other auction houses at market value. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this in the bags. All right, looks like we have 133,041 gold. However, it's not where we're going to start today. One of Bofades' auction house tunes made 3 sales overnight. Pattern for the Big Voodoo Cloak, Bloodforged Belt of the Aurora, and Chromite Gauntlets. And none of these sales are at market value, unfortunately. We sold the Chromite Gauntlets for like 1,900 and the market value on that is 2,600. But again, as I've been showing you guys this data, like on Money Exchange, you often see this current price of like 18 gold, right? And oftentimes, many of you might think that that's what it goes for, like that's what you should sell it for, but that is not the case. You can push it to that market value depending on where you post it. And my 1,900 gold sell is better than the top 10 or 12 of these servers here. And even though it's like a lower item, like a 1,900 gold item, the same could be true for items that sell for 10k, 20k, 50k, 100k. I will say though that I think those sales came because I started the Father's Day weekend flash sale on that server where we are slashing prices quite a bit. So I'm expecting to see more sales in that server over the weekend. And on another server, we sold the schematic for the parachute cloak. This server is the server connected to the auction house tune that I mentioned yesterday. I was thinking about letting go. It's almost as if she knew that. She knew like her job was on the line or something and she had to make a sale. So she sold a 10 gold pattern. So anyway, let's open up the Warband Bank and pay ourselves. All right, we have paid ourselves 3,837 gold, which puts our starting total today at 136,878. As always, I'd like to take a look at a few comments before we start. The first one says, I've stopped watching many a YouTuber because they put videos or VODs behind paywalls. 1 or 2 here and there is whatever, but doing a whole series or doing a gated video 2 to 3 times a week is a no-go. The context of this comment pertains to what I was talking about yesterday about what I'm going to do whenever the monetization dashboard opens up for me and like what my business plan is for this channel. And I'll be very straight with you guys. It's going to be views and it'll be memberships. And what this commenter said about putting whole series behind membership paywalls or putting like every other video behind a membership paywall is not what I'm going to do. I would say at most there might be 1 membership video a week and it's probably not pertaining to Bofades here. It might be like on my alts, doing something like mailbox cleanouts or farming something else. I don't know what it'll be, but Bofades here will not be behind a paywall. I'll say that right now. And one thing I was thinking about for memberships is that if you have a membership and you leave comments, there's maybe a higher likelihood that your comment might get highlighted, I guess. I don't know. I haven't sorted that out yet, but like, I don't want this experience to be really crappy for all of you. Like I've been having a hard time over the last few months watching some of my favorite streamers, some of my favorite, gold farming YouTubers, because they just constantly hit you with like some sort of product or some sort of, thing that you have to buy. And that is not my vibe. Next comment says, surprised I made the sub while you were recording. Haha, keep it up, man. Love the videos from you. Look forward to them every day. Yeah, I wish I could like personally thank everyone that subs when they sub. And the subs that pop up during these videos that you see are literally subs that are coming through while I'm recording the video for the, the hour that I'm recording. And I try to say thank you to each one that pops up because I truly am thankful and grateful that you guys are coming and enjoying the stuff and, hitting that subscribe button, suggesting that you might stick around for the long haul here because this is taking longer than expected. Actually not. The only thing I expected is just a little bit more gold than 136k. Like we're getting close to 200 runs, right? I thought we potentially would see a few more sales come through, but my stubbornness to stay at market value across all my auction houses is what's slowing this down just a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure, I could almost guarantee that we'll see quite a bit of sales over the next 5 to 7 days. Next comment says, enjoy life with your loved ones. No need to rush the sales or episodes. So tired of gold per hour guides. This is organic. Stay strong. Context here is that I mentioned that this is Father's Day weekend and we're going to go hiking and do a bunch of stuff over the weekend. So there's not going to be a video from Bofades or Socrates for that matter. So I appreciate the kind comment there. And as far as the GPH community, the gold per hour community, I'm not necessarily wanting to fully dive into that with my content here. Like I know we live in a world of like efficiency and trying to manage time perfectly and just always be as productive as possible. And I feel like when you bring that stuff into a video game, you can potentially ruin what the experience is supposed to be. This is a video game after all, right? And video games, I would say for the most part, are to be enjoyed. Gold per hour for me feels like I'm like clocking in, and I don't want to clock in on this game. I just want to do what I want to do. All right, one more comment today. It says, steady and honest work again in ZF Mines. I'm hoping to see a big boy epic. Bofades deserves the morale boost. Yeah, you are correct. We need an epic or something big today for Bofades. If you've been following along on Socrates' channel, it's just super after super, big item after big item. And in the early days of Bofades, we were seeing epics every like 20 or 30 runs. And he's been on a dry spell for about 90 runs now. Not like capital D dry. There's been some like pretty good greens that have come through. But those juicy epics and the juicy greens, we're not seeing a ton of those. Or we haven't seen a ton of those lately. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and eat our fried bonefish. Let's start up Loot Appraiser. And I'm just going to say it. Let's manifest it, right? Let's get an epic today. Let's get an epic today. Let's do it. Someone mentioned they couldn't see the community, and it's because I'm a clown. I didn't go in and click cross-faction and list in the community finder. That was my very first time creating a community, and I didn't know I needed to go into the settings and do that. I thought it would have, you know, default done it for me. Griffin Mail bracelets. First green that dinged today. So after I'm done here, I'll go do that for Socrates as well, because I'm certain that his isn't listed either. TSM and all the things are making me lag like crazy again today, so I had to reset it, unfortunately. The potato PC strikes again. Griffin Mail Greaves. Brutish Leggards. Leggards. Guy's Leggings. Cons Greaves. Griffin Mail Belt. Bone Link Leg Plates. One thing that I'm finding interesting is when people in the comments say that they like don't even play WoW anymore, but they're tuning into this series. I've seen that comment come up a few times now, and I'm genuinely curious as to potentially why. Imposing pants. I'm mostly curious about why or how these videos showed up on algorithms of people's YouTubes that aren't, you know, playing the game, potentially aren't searching out content of the game anymore. I will say, though, that I've taken breaks in this game before over the years. Like during BFA, I didn't play much at all, which was really unfortunate because I missed out on the original auction house mount. And what tends to bring me back from every break is like YouTube series, YouTube videos. Bloodwoven Rod, Bone Link Wall Shield. And I can't say that during those breaks that I was like actively seeking out WoW YouTube channels. I think it was always an instance of YouTube like putting one WoW video on my feed, you know, like my suggested or my recommended videos. Brutish Gauntlets. And I ended up watching that video, which led to another video, which led to another, and so on and so forth. Until I finally gave in to this drug that we call WoW, right? Jay Greaves. 508 gold there from the first round of entering. War Leader's Belt. I think that's a good one. Seems like it is. So someone asked, you know, is it kind of depressing that you're getting 1 million gold in looted item value, but you're only seeing like, you know, 1,000 to 2,000 gold a day in sales? Bloodwoven Pants. And to that, I obviously say no, because I enjoy this. What is depressing, or I guess I should say soul draining, is the fact that if I want like immediate gold, Sunscale Sabatons, like if I want to make gold in the fastest and the quote most efficient way possible, that I would have to do one of two things. One being that I would like fly around for an hour and just herb and mine in current content zones. Two, run an alt army through the concentration crafting process, which I do. Someone's going to point out that I said do. High Chief's Belt. I mean, I have like 16 alchemists, capped alchemists in Midnight right now. And there are other professions like enchanting, tailoring, or jewel crafting. And lately, when I look at them on the character selection screen, I'm like, ugh. And I say that knowing that all I have to do is log into them for like 3 minutes and click a few buttons. High Chief's Bindings. And the only excitement that I get out of concentration crafting is the multi-craft procs. And so when I see those characters in the login screen and I see that they're in Silvermoon, I know what I'm going to be doing when I log in with them, and I know what's going to come from it. Whereas Bofades here, I have no idea how my day is going to go when I log into him. All right, so we got a Magnificent Cloak there and a Jade Fire Chest Guard. Those are the dings there. But everything I just said about concentration crafting or gathering, people that do that, they feel the same about transmog farming. It's almost as if there's like two factions of people that make gold in this game. On one side, you have people that only do current content, Dark Mist Wraps. And on the other side, you have people that just prefer to do old content. And as we all know, there are pros and cons of both sides. And I think it's interesting that there's even friction between the two sides in the first place, because both sides want the same thing. They're just going about it in different ways. Wow, we are already 45 minutes through this one, and we haven't had anything significant drop. Another pair of Dark Mist Wraps, Formidable Crest. If that's the market value, if 36k is the market value and I sell that for 30%, we could still make a few thousand out of it. Bloodwoven Pants from a Scarab. Highborn Pants, Magnificent Cloak. Captain's breastplate. I hope it didn't come across that I'm like bashing people that make gold from current content. That's not what I'm meaning at all. Because I'm one of you. I've made a lot of gold from like health potions, bloodwoven pants. What I'm really saying is that I just don't get as much excitement out of that as I do this. Bloodwoven wraps. Like if I were to get a T-Booze or a Skull Flame Shield from one of these guys, I'll be thinking about that for like the next 3 or 4 days. Whereas when I no doubt proc like an extra 19 health potions later on today, I'll be like, oh, that's neat, and just forget about it in like 30 minutes. Hey, we got a blue. Is that our first blue today? Black metal cape? Jeez. Tyrant's chest piece. Impenetrable sabatons. Bloodforged leg plates. Hey, we got the cloak with speed finally. We can add a little bit more speed to Bofades here. Sweet. Oh, I can already feel it. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Brutish breastplate. All right, guys, that does it for these 10 runs. Let's take a look at our bags and sell some stuff. All right, I think this episode's already going to be longer than normal, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time like disenchanting everything. Just know that we're going to get in between like 15-ish and 45 greater eternal essence, depending on our RNG. The looted item value of these 10 runs is, or was, 842k, which is kind of like in the upper third of our runs that we typically see. But I can't say that we got anything like amazing, anything that I'm gonna like remember later. The top item is apparently this War Leader's belt. Looks like this. Interesting item. 97 across US realms, 1500 on the low end, 88k for a median. Yeah, so this isn't a bad item at all. You can probably get 10k or more for this, depending on where you go, obviously. If I were to post this on the medium realm, that's a part of this challenge, it would suggest that I post it like in the 80s, but we're going to put it on a Father's Day weekend flash sale, and we're going to maybe try to get like, you know, 15, 12, 10, 9 out of it. Our second best item, according to Loot Appraiser, is this Jade Fire chest guard. This looks pretty sweet, actually. 177 across US realms, 299 on the low end, 55k for a median. All right, so yeah, this might be like a 12k or less kind of item. So whenever you have to scroll down and you're still, after you scroll down, still like below 15k or whatever, this is most likely what you're going to get out of it. Most likely. You can post it somewhere else. Like here, Sinjin, it's a high pop. There isn't one posted, even though 2 weeks ago there was one for 657. I could, if I had a bank tune here, just post it here for like 20k and potentially get a sell over the course of a week or two, as long as mine would be the only one that would be up. Our next best item on the list is 2 Magnificent Cloaks, but that 59k is after you add up 2. So I would say the third best item is actually the Impenetrable Sabatons. And they look like this. 108 across US realms, 735 on the low end, 57k for a median. Yeah, we can get 10k out of these, I bet. So yeah, unfortunately, not a great 10 runs for our runs 191 through 200. I was hoping that in this stretch of runs, these 10, we were going to see something really awesome because, you know, it's the build up to 200 runs. But we got a bunch of, you know, just basic, unique green BOEs that potentially will sell somewhere. There are a few in here that I don't have 4 of yet, so I need to make sure that I include them in our warband auction houses. And there are a couple that I'm potentially going to send off to another auction house because I already have 4. So anyway, sorry these runs couldn't be spectacular, but this is just how it goes with transmog farming, as a lot of us know. So, quick reminder, this weekend is Father's Day weekend, and my weekend is going to be pretty busy, so Bofades gets a couple days off here, so you guys won't see a video probably until Monday. And I want to take a moment to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers that might be watching this, which I'm certain is quite a few. I hope you have a day or a weekend of rest and relaxation surrounded by your loved ones. And for everyone else, if you enjoyed this sort of content, I would encourage you to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever it is you do to engage with YouTube videos and YouTube channels. And until next time, take care. See you soon.